The next one I'll do is going to be a very simple inn, and this obviously there's no dynamic lighting here, but the players may not know, like this is very, it's obviously top down, so the fact that they can see the green on the outside is not very immersive. It doesn't really put them in the feel like, hey, I'm in an inn. So obviously go to your dynamic lighting, click on your polygon line tool. For this one, maybe I'm gonna do green thin lines. Also make sure that this second box, make sure that it's transparent, this down box here. Sometimes it'll do the color for both and you don't really want that. You could do it for very solid things like pillars. It doesn't really change much as long as you do a full circle with what they are, so it doesn't really matter, but it does matter that you have this transparent, because if not, this is what's going to happen. You're going to click like this, and when you click like this, it fills this really weird triangle. It's just essentially filling all the light in wherever you click, and it makes some really weird designs that are interesting. You don't really want to do that, so delete that. Go back to your polygon tool, click on it again, go back to transparent, and now you're back to where you need to be. So bright color, thin, get in your map. I recommend getting in as comfortably close as possible. You don't want to be like real in there, because you want to be able to move around and do a decent bit. I'd say get in a decent height where you can see the detail of your map and get a good accurate line. So you start here. You could probably just go straight up. These are all very straight lines, so I could even go over here. Make sure you get a really good point and then click there. So this is bad. Don't do this. It looks like the map is a little warped. So for this line, I'm going to undo that, and I'm actually it looks like the walls are actually a little warped. It looks like this building was built by a drunken masonry. So let's just go through and just do it yourself. Yeah, this wall's a little blown out. This must be a very old inn, showing its age. Yeah, you just go around, go in there, make sure you're essentially you're cutting this wall in half, and you're cutting out the outside grass. The players don't really need to see. And another thing that's kind of cool is if the players wanted to go on the outside of the inn, now they have that feeling that, hey, I'm on the outside of the walls of the outside of the inn. So you could even be creative and say, what if one of these are windows instead of, I think they look like pillars to me, but they could be a window. So I'm gonna leave one of these open as a window. So we're gonna leave this one open here as a window. So the best thing to do, this also goes with doors. So if you've got an open area like this, we're gonna say this is a window. I'm gonna right click, and that's gonna set this line here as a dynamic line. Then you're gonna go to the other side of it, go like that, go to here, go kind of as close as you can to the edge there, then set that, right click, eliminate it. I'm going to say these are all windows. So you go over here to the edge, right click. Again, finishing out your dynamic lighting, go to here, down over here, still fine, cuts right through it in half, no problem. Same thing with this door, go straight to the edge of the door. Actually, I'm going to undo that a little bit and go all the way to the door there. You want to kind of break it right there, right at the line. Right click, set it. Go from the frame of the door. You just go in sections so you get a fairly accurate line. Don't try to cut corners like I did in the very beginning of my Roll20 experience and go too far. You lose detail. This is another door. Right click. This one here, I'm going to do a little touch-up line right to the door, and then I'm going to go deep in. Use my selection tool to make sure that this is right. Yeah, there we go. Right on line, so that this is very smooth. There's a smooth transition. There's no little gaps between here. Now what I'm going to teach you guys how to do after I finish this here, actually this is another good tip. So you did your outline. Oops, way too far out. So you've did your outline, and everything looks good on the outline, but now you've got these weird inner walls, and you might think to yourself, well, you just join it from here, go out and in. you'd be correct. So best thing to do, I like to start a little bit over here on the right hand side, or crossing over the current line that you have, because if you don't, there's a good chance that if you don't hit it right on this line and go across, there might be some light bleed through on in between the two intersecting things. So if you go on the other side, there's really no way for any light to escape. So you click across, that's a very good straight line, no problem there. Also again, no problem. Boom, again, no problem. Right click, set it. This one's here, this is also another inner wall. Go right on the outside of the wall, intersect it in, cuts it straight down, good. And go in. I'm gonna undo that. I went a little too far with that line, so I'm gonna go back. There we go. And sometimes I'm real picky on where I put the lines. Like, I like that. That looks good. So now you could even go as far as to say these could be pillars. I don't necessarily know what they are, but we're gonna say these are support pillars. Best thing to do here, move your chair, whatever object it's on. Oh, sorry. I need to select. I think it's on the map layer. Yeah, move your chair out of the way a little bit. Can't really be on the support pillar. Go back to your dynamic lighting, polygon tool, thin line. You can even try make sure it's on transparent, and then just kind of click here and go around in a almost a hexagon. Right click, same thing around here. See what happens just right there. And I clicked on here and I clicked here, nothing happens. So Roll20 does something very strange. It's almost like if you don't click far enough away from your origination point with your polygon tool, it just doesn't create a line. So you kind of make sure you go a decent distance away from the line so that you can see, or so that it sets in, or else it'll just keep resetting. So now you're just going around. Again, it did it again. Go out. There we go. I don't really like that line. It's cut too deep. There we go. You're essentially just giving them the outer details, and you're hollowing this out. And you may even want to. You can even move it around. If you go to your select tool, select and move, you can drag and drop, kind of like just like you would normally, like on your Windows machine or whatever. Drag and drop, and then click and move it around if you hover over the line. And sometimes it's a little difficult for smaller shapes like this. You'll get like a lot of these lines. If you zoom in, it gives you more area to put your cursor over to get these all over arrows, to the move arrows, I guess we'll call it. Also, what you could do, these are all the same shape. I like this shape. I'm going to copy, click right in the center, and paste it, and then move it around, move it over. So now you've got almost essentially a template, and you can move it right into place, and then zoom back out, check your work. Everything looks good. So now we're going to go to Objects Token Layer, drag character in. We'll use Hassat the Barlock. Put him right there. Go to your page settings, enable dynamic lighting, enforce the rule, put the GM opacity all the way to full, click OK. So this character has a hella ton of sight, or the map proportions are wrong. So now what you want is get your tool, your ruler out, and kind of check. So this is a square on this map, and this map is not that big. Each one of these squares should be about 5 feet. So what you need to do is you need to go to your page settings and go to your map page settings and pretty much cut that in half. So we'll say 2.5. Hit OK, and the lighting will go away a little bit. And then you do your check. Still a little bit. This map is kind of stretched out a little bit, so it doesn't look correct. You also might ask why the area is so lit. If you notice, the area is fully lit. It's because I have torches all throughout this room emitting light. Each one of those torches I think is, if I remember correctly, on the map layer, it's probably emitting too much light, maybe. Yeah, 20 feet of light. So maybe if I dim this down to 2020, or I'm sorry, 4020. Well, that's just giving more light. So let's delete these. Hello. Get out of here. Let's delete these and see what kind of lighting I can give this room to kind of equal out the lighting. It's a little too bright. Also, I think if I... Let me check something here. Don't do global illumination, just as a fair warning. It does the complete opposite. Instead of darkness, it shows light. And I never really understood why you would do this. But, you know, whatever. Oh. Accidentally moved the map. It's one thing I hate. When you're on the map portion, you have to be very careful. And, don't delete the map. Alright, so it's really starting to come into play. Ah, there we go. That was a big source of light. This one too, probably, yep. So, I mean, I need to zoom back out and see if there's any torches that I'm missing. And now, so you can do one of two things. The way I had it was the character was emitting light. And right now the character's emitting a hella ton of light. He's emitting 120. So when a character is emitting light, that's saying that they have a torch, they have a light spell, something like that. If they just have sight, for instance, I'm going to bring one of those torches back, actually. Give me a second here. Yeah, I'm going to put this torch right here. Torch is emitting light, but let's say that this character is emitting no light and just has vision. Hit save. Now, wherever this torch goes is where the vision is. The players, they have vision, but they're not emitting any light. This would be good in a darkness scenario where if they have no vision whatsoever, it goes dark, complete blackness. And sometimes that will happen. There's darkness spells, and some characters can't see in the dark. But for this instance, now you could put torches everywhere, and it gives them the illusion or the realism of light. They're moving over here. Well, if it's dark, they can't see. If they have a torch, then you're like, okay, let me give you your torch. So you give them an emit light area, and boom, now they're able to see. And now they can see that there's, you know, people often in the area over here. They're eating, doing some stuff, but they can't see around walls. If they go here, they can't see over here. Go over here, can't see here. And then, like I was saying before, those windows. This is kind of one of those scenarios where there's funky lighting. This right here, it's a little strange. But if you're out here, it looks fine. I'm going to flip back to dynamic lighting and see why it's doing that. I really can't explain it, to be honest. There's no reason why it should be doing this weird gap. Unless there's something... Oh, it could be this torch. I think this torch, the way it's set, it's giving light. Yeah, it's giving light this direction here. So if I were to go to this torch and delete it... Yep, it fixed the light. So now this is giving the player... okay, he's giving the player the sense that these are windows, and that's why they're able to see through them. Also, same thing on the other side. If the player's on the outside and they're scouting the building, they can see into the bar or the inn, but they can't see everything. The pillars are blocking some things. Right here, the view on what's on the inside, but they can't see Gundren over here. They can see a little bit of Sildar Hallwinter, but they actually can't see everything. So yeah, this is just another area of immersion, or another way to get your players into an immersive scenario. Or if they want to have, say for instance, a rogue wants to peek into a doorway over here. So I'll teach you how to do doorways real quick, so I can kind of give you that example. Go back to your dynamic lighting. You may want to turn your GM opacity down so you can actually see what you're doing. Go over here to this doorway here. Now, go to your dynamic lighting, polygon line tool, select a different color. Doors should always be done in different colors because it allows you to really give you the option to delete just that line, and it stands out. So for instance, I like to do doors in like red. It really stands out against green. It kind of looks Christmassy, but you know, whatever. Looks good to me. So for doors, I like to do what's called a panhandle, but in this scenario, I'm not going to, because since the players have the options to be on the outside and the inside, it doesn't work. When you have dead space, for instance, like this table, if this table was a wall, and we'll do a quick outline of this. It's going to be really bad and just quick. Then I'm going to leave a gap here, and then let go, and then a gap here, and then let go. So say this was a door. When I would do a door, I'm going to do the opposite color scheme for this. Since this is all dead space that the player will never see, say if you're going into here, so I guess I'll... let's see, give it... Essentially what you're doing, if this was dead space and this was a door, maybe into a closet or whatever, you would go like this, go up into the area that you want to make a door, go across, and then down, and then right click. So now when the player's over there in front of this bar door, essentially they'll see nothing, no real difference when they're looking at it, but if that was a door, it would show it like a door symbol, you know. And then when they want to go in it, say this guy's like, okay, well, I'm going to open the door. Well, okay, the door's open. So what you do is you click on it, or if you can't click on it here, you can click on the panhandle, which is that's why I do it. Delete it, and now it gives the player the option to go into the door, or go into the hallway that we made out of this bar table. Same thing with the door aspect, except for I'm going to do it a little different, because since there's area on both sides, I want to pretty much just do it as cleanly as I can. So I'm going to zoom far down in, as far as I can get. I want to get right on the edge, but a little bit right inside the line, but not necessarily completely on the edge. You want to go overlap a little bit so that there's no crossover or gaps. And then what you do is you just go click there, and then just go straight across again in the same spot. That right there should have no issues. Right click, close door. So this allows you to have the player go, okay, well, I'm at the door, but no matter where he moves, this is a good test right here. Do this. No matter where he moves, he has no idea that he has no vision into the door. However, say he's a rogue and he's being real sneaky and stealthy, you can move the line a little bit. See, this is kind of like one of those scenarios where it's hard to get over it. See how the little crack opens up? So now, say he's going to crack the door and look in. You can crack it like that, go back to the player's view, and then when he moves like this is all he's seeing. Let me give you a darker view of that so that it's real telltaling of what's happening. So this right here is all the player's seeing. He's seeing real deep on the inside, but he's only seeing a sliver of it. So he literally has to kind of peek into the door himself, and it really kind of gives him the immersiveness of being able to look kind of into the doorway. And then once he's satisfied, he sees that the coast is clear, there's no monsters. Then you can go back into dynamic lighting, go to this door, and delete it. That helps when you hit delete, not end, and delete it. Now the player can enter, and all is well.